Hey everybody. What about Okay, we're gonna do homework assignment 3.4 now, where we're gonna kind of go backwards from the last assignment. So before, I gave you a table and a graph, and you had to create the equation. Today, I'm gonna give you the equation, and you need to create a graph and a table. So, like I keep saying, with equations, they're so weird, we kind of work backwards from what you would normally think. So I'm going to recommend that you start by looking at this first blank or the last blank over here, because that's going to tell you your y-intercept, and we could start eliminating some possibilities. So for question 1, we want to look and see what the y-intercepts are. Here, option A has a y-intercept of 3, so I know that A is not going to be one of my answers. Well, it's not going to be for number 1. For B, we have a y-intercept of -3, so it might be that one. C has a y-intercept of -3, so it could be that. And D has a y-intercept of +3, so we know that it's not going to be that. Well, let's see. We have a slope of +1/2, so up 1 and over 2, or, well, okay, let's look here. Let's look at these different slopes. So we know it's not going to be A. We know it's not going to be D. Okay. So now we kind of want to look at what's happening with our slopes. Here, this is going up by 1, and here this is going up by 2. Okay, but this slope, remember y over x, so it's going to be 2 over 1 equals 2. But we need a slope of 1/2, so let's double check this one. Well, yeah, this one's going up 1 and over 2. Up 1 and over 2. So, yep, that's going to be our answer. C is our answer. Let me make that green. I'm going to do this whole like color coding thingy. C. And let me go ahead and erase all of this stuff. And let's start looking at, well, let's go down to question 4. Because question 4 also had the y-intercept of -3. So I think that's going to be B, but let's double check. That should have a slope, oh yeah, that does have a slope of 2, and we already showed that this change was 2, this change is 1, so the slope is 2. Well, that was getting pretty easy here. Alright, so we've eliminated this one. We've eliminated this one. Now let's look at question 2. We need a y-intercept of 3. Oh, well, both of these have a y-intercept of 3. This has a slope of 1/2. Okay. Well, here we're adding 1, adding 1, adding 1. Over here we're adding 2. Okay, well, this is looking right because we're going to have our change in y over our change in x. Let's just double check. Well, already I know if I put my skier on here, they're going downhill, so we're going to need a negative slope there. So A is the right answer for number 2. And so we can eliminate that one. And we obviously know that this is going to be our answer. Oops, D. But let's just double check for kicks and giggles. A y-intercept of 3, and it goes down 1 over, or sorry, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. So that is a slope of -2 over 1, which does equal -2. Yep, that looks good to me. Alright, let's go ahead and slide that up. We're going to kind of do that again. Alright, so, alright. Like I said, it's easy for me, when I'm doing this, to work backwards. Well, why don't we just go ahead on question 5 and write our y-intercept. We already know the y-intercept. Now, it's easy if you remember that that's over 1, and we're kind of working backwards. This is telling us that our y column is going to go up by 2. That's telling us that our x column is going to go up by 1. So our y column, if we're going up, is going to be 7, 9, 11, 13. And in the instructions, it tells us that we need 5 rows. And our x column is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Super easy. And we can and should double check. So what if I took this row right here and plugged it in to my equation? So if I had a 13 plugged in for my y and a 4 plugged in for my x, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. And that does match what we have over there. Woohoo! That's cool. Alright, let me go ahead and erase that stuff. Erase. And let's go ahead and make a graph. So one thing we could do is we could plot all of these ordered pairs and they will make a line, and that's our line. That's awesome. I'm just going to go ahead using the equation since that's kind of the purpose of this assignment. So we want to start at 5, because again, we're going to work backwards. And then, well, we have that. We need to go up 2 and to the right 1. Up 2 and to the right 1. Well, now we run out of space. We could also do the opposite of that. We could go down 2 and back 1 to keep it in a line. And there's our line right there. That's pretty great. Okay, I'm going to let you work on number 6. I'm going to work on number 7. Make sure you follow me. Pause the video if you need to. And hold on one second. Okay, question 7. I'm going to work backwards. My y-intercept needs to be -4. So I'm going to start with 0, -4. I'm going to write that invisible 1 there. This is telling me here that my y column is going to go down by 1. Now be careful. Most of you are tempted to put a -3, but that would actually be going up by 1 because those are negatives. Okay, so we need to go -5, -6, -7, -8. And then we're going to go up by 1 on this side. And we're going to double check. So we're saying this row, I don't know, pick that row right there. -7 should equal -1 times 3 minus 4. -1 times 3 is -3 minus 4. And that's -7. Those match. We're in really good shape. All right, let's go ahead and make our graph. So our graph needs to start at -4. And like we said before, it's going to go down 1 over 1 to the right. Over is a bad word. Down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, just like that. And that's good. We can kind of double check it. Our slope should be a negative number, which means if we draw our skier, then he should go downhill, and he totally does. All right, let's go ahead and look at this one. Question 4. Oh, y equals 4. That's looking kind of familiar to me. Think if I remember right that means that we just have a bunch of 4s in this column. And if it helps, it does not matter what you put in here. You do need to put something, but you could put a 1, 7, 100, -3, and 1/7. It doesn't matter. The big idea here is that our y value is always going to equal 4. So what if we plotted a couple of these points? So like if I plot that first point, 0, 4, it's right here. Okay, 7, 4 is going to be over here. 104 is also, oh, it kind of looks like these are making this line like that. Now another way to read this is that we're going to have a straight line. We already know because it looks funky that we're going to be either going straight across or up and down. What this is telling you is to cross the y-axis at 4. So that's another way to think about it. Where you know we're going to have a line that crosses the y-axis. Here's our y-axis right here at 4. Okay? Well, hopefully that video was helpful for you. What have I got going on down here? Oh yeah, that's a pretty good question for you to think about, level 4 students. All right, I will see. Man, this unit has been good. I'm like 10-minute videos all around. I will see you in the next video.